Today I'm going to be sharing with you one of my favourite strategies for buying properties on the secondary market, properties which I consider to be mispriced. How's it going, everybody? This is Radishhead and welcome back to another episode of Upland Analysis. This is not an episode about sniping properties that people have accidentally mispriced by listing them for UPIX instead of listing them for dollars. No, this is properties which people have very actively and deliberately priced at a level that I think is wrong when you consider the wider market. What do I mean by that? Well, I'm going to go to Sherman Oaks in Los Angeles. I've been talking about it a lot recently. I've noticed there's been a lot of hype. I promise I'm not sponsored by Sherman Oaks. I'm not part of their official node or anything. I just like the area. But I'm in Chicago, and I can't mint anything in Sherman Oaks, so I want more properties there. What am I going to do? Well, I went on to upxland.me. I've just run the search here, Los Angeles, Sherman Oaks, unminted properties, sorted by mint price. Just give that a quick search. Looks like the mint floor in Sherman Oaks is about 21,000. So not only am I in the wrong city, but if I want to mint into Sherman Oaks right now, got to pay 21,000 UPIX. That's not a terrible price, but I think I can do better. So I've just opened up another tab here on upxland.me. Again, Los Angeles, Sherman Oaks, but this time I'm going to go for for sale UPIX, sort by sale price, and let's see what's for sale. So I'm going to click this, and yeah, okay, there's stuff for 15k. So already we can buy in on the secondary market for less than the mint price. I have a feeling that these are probably underpriced. As Sherman Oaks continues to mint up, I think the floor price in Sherman Oaks is going to end up at something roughly equivalent to the more expensive properties to mint in that area. So I wouldn't be surprised to see it go to 21, 22k floor. However, if you're buying this one for 15,000, the markup is 150%. And I think it's important to consider both aspects. So what I'm going to do, we've searched for the cheapest by sale price, but now I'm going to sort it by markup. So what we're showing here is within the 200 cheapest properties, which ones are the best deal in terms of markup. And it's that combination of two things, looking at the sale price and the markup together, that I think can sometimes pop up with really interesting results. Let's have a look at these three on the top here. They are mint prices, 14,000, sale price, 17,000. So that's already quite considerably lower than the current mint floor of about 21,000, and the markup is only 112%. Now that to me is a lot more attractive than buying a 9,000 mint at a 150% markup, and honestly, to me, it's also more attractive than just minting a 21,000 property. So I'm saving 4,000 on the my cash balance, and I'm pretty much like 112% markup. That's almost minting it. So it's almost like minting a well, literally it's minting a 14,000 property, which is well below the mint floor, and just paying a bit of a premium. This premium can kind of go up and down, but I think that's a really good deal. So I'm going to try and search for it. I know that, yeah, Upland need to fix this. For most of the properties in northern LA, you actually cannot search for them, so I have to go onto Google, search for the property, and then try and find it. So I'll do a jump cut, and yeah, when we find it, I'll do that. All right, here we are. I found Dixie Canyon Avenue. It's just off Ventura Boulevard, so it's actually quite a nice spot, to be honest. And I believe it's these three properties here. They're all owned by the same person, and he's selling them all for 16,200, which, again, as I was saying, well below the mint floor, and at a 112% markup. You're almost getting them at mint price. So to me, there's so many advantages to taking this approach. I don't even have to be in the city to buy these. In fact, I'm not. I'm in Chicago. I was doing some treasure hunting. I get them well below the mint floor. Don't even have to be there. easy peasy. So that's a really nice way to boost up your holdings in certain areas. So just to remind you my process, what I love to do, and this works best in areas which aren't fully minted out yet, because the idea is that there's still stuff to mint, which usually means that the floor price has a bit of room to rise just naturally as more stuff gets minted out. It's usually what happens, especially in collection areas like Sherman Oaks. And then I look at areas where there's a difference between the mint floor and the sale price floor. And then instead of just going for the cheapest stuff, I search for the cheapest stuff, because ultimately I do want things which don't cost me too much UPIX. But then I search by markup, because I want something which is as close to minting it myself as possible. And I can almost like justify this to myself. It's almost like minting these 3 properties for 17,000 UPIX. Almost. It's pretty close. And obviously that's a pretty big jump compared to the current mint floor. Let's give it a go with Manhattan. Why not? Let's say, let's look at the cheapest 200 properties for sale with UPIX in Manhattan. So we're just going to load that. And it looks like the cheapest is 151,000, which is actually quite a good price. But it's going up quick, so if you do want to get in Manhattan, you know, time might be running out. But regardless, the markup there is 5,000%. What if I wanted a property that was within the cheapest 200 Manhattan properties, but I didn't want to pay 5,000% markup? Let's see what the lowest markup is within the cheapest 200 properties. See if we can do better than 5,000. There we go. There are 6 for less than a 10 times markup, which I think is pretty good for Manhattan. And it looks like, and it kind of depends on your appetite, so you might think this is the best one. This is a 800% markup, and it's 188,000. So it's just a bit more expensive than the Manhattan floor, just 30k, but instead of paying 5,000% markup, you're paying 790, so basically you're paying 800 markup. That's really good. And then if you're willing to go a bit further than that, this is still within the cheapest 200 properties in Manhattan, but it's only 458% markup. I'm going to have a look at this one. This strategy that I'm telling you here, this is genuinely one of my absolute favorite strategies, because it can help you find those hidden gems, those properties that aren't the absolute cheapest on the market, nor are they the absolute lowest markup on the market, because the absolute lowest markup, they can often be massive properties. But if you have a combination of one of the cheapest and one of the lowest markups, you can get some really incredible stuff. This is in like southern Manhattan. People love properties here. Let's have a look at the street view. Wow, look at that. So for 458% markup in Manhattan, it looks like you're getting this restaurant here. What is that? Banter. Let's go out the door and have a look at this. So let's just go out here and let's turn ourselves around. Nice street. And there it is, Banter. So, wow, look at that. It's a tall sort of townhouse building. It looks like quite a fancy restaurant. 250,000 UPIX. I might come back and buy that one. I'm not so confident to buy it on camera. That's more than that's more than half of my UPIX. But the point still stands. I might go and grab one of these 800% ones. Just, you know, you're basically paying 80k less, but the markup's not as good. But it is in Lenox Hill, which is really nice. So that's what I mean. You can do this in any city, in any neighborhood. Just play around with the data a bit. You can find some really, really cool deals just hidden away by the floor price. Can sometimes be a little bit deceiving. Sometimes you look just a little bit beyond the floor price. You can pay a little bit more and get so much more in return. So I hope you found that useful. If you did, I'd love it if you gave this video a like, and if you want to see similar content to this in the future, I'd also really appreciate it if you could subscribe to the channel. But until next time, I'll see you then.